this or that. We are often faced with decisions, and as Christians, there are times we make decisions based on our own human wisdom. And we think we see an open door and we say, yes, that is God's will. And we see a closed door and we say, that is not of God. And instead of trying to seek God's will and actually spend time in intimacy to know his heart, we often just jump to conclusions. Now, for example, this open door and this closed door situation, we see in the Bible there was a time when Paul was in the prison and the doors opened. Even as they were praying, everything shattered. He could have just run out, but he didn't. He saw that this was a time of a miracle for him to share Christ to those around him. So that open door wasn't for his escape, but that open door was for a purpose first. Yes, later he was obviously taken out, but instantly that open door wasn't immediately, yep, get up and go. And on the other hand, a closed door doesn't mean it's not of God either. What if it's a revolving door? What if it's just going around and at that point that you're seeing it, it looks closed, but it's not really closed? See, and there's also that closed door could be it's just closed for now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be closed for the future. Just like a woman is pregnant with her baby, and for 9 months the womb holds the baby in. Does that mean the baby is supposed to be inside that womb forever? No. There is a time and a purpose and a reason and a season in God's things. Likewise, when we're faced with difficulties, we often say, oh, that's the enemy attack, or we say that's the persecution going on. But are we able to test things according to God's word? Is it persecution or is it the time of God sifting us as goats? He's separating the goats from the sheep. The Bible is full of times of saying it's the end date times and these things are going to happen. They must happen. And so many Christians are sitting here and praying, oh Lord, stop this, stop that, stop this. And I'm like thinking, why are you praying against something that is of God's will? See, there's so many things that are happening to Christians and we immediately think, oh, it's persecution, so let's be blessed that we're being persecuted. But maybe God is just trying to speak to us through this, trying to refine us, to mold us, to restore us. I look back at all the sufferings that I have faced in life, and I am actually grateful to God for each one of them, for each of the trials and the troubles, because some of them, yes, have been a consequences of my wrong actions, but some of them are because God has been wanting to break me in areas that I have been of the world, even good areas, but not of God. See, that's why God clearly says in his Bible, in his word rather, do not conform to the ways of this world. And in not conforming to the ways of this world, that our minds will be renewed. Renewed is being made new. And it's then that we get transformed. And as we're transforming, it's only when we will hear God's will. God's perfect and pleasing will is to be known only when we do that. The problem is we're sitting in the world. We brought the world into the church, and the church has also become an extension of the world ever so often. Or we justify our actions of the world that are not of God, and we don't repent of them, and we think. And then people are just sitting there and saying, oh yeah, that's persecution. No, it's not persecution so often. It's actually God telling us, look, this is not the way I want you to do things. This is not the way I want you to live things. Yes, as human beings, we will fail daily. If I say I'm without sin, I will be a liar and a hypocrite. Even selfish ambition, greed, they're all sins. And these can often be a fine line as well. So that's why, like I always ask God that even as this is kenosis ministries, which means kenosis is a Greek term for self-emptying, I always ask God, please help me to make sure that I'm self-emptying, that I won't have that blind spot, that it shouldn't be about me, the focus shouldn't be about me, but on you, God, because we are the vessels for you. And Lord, at the end of the day, it is about you and your kingdom, and to seek his righteousness. It's not about seeking me or my name or my glory or what my comforts are or what is good for me. It's about seeking God and his kingdom. And where there's idols can be not just the statues, but also anything and anyone that blocks us from doing God's will. It could be our family, it could be the statues that we put in worship, it could be our careers, it could be whatever it is that distracts us. And as long as we are being distracted from God, by doing all of these things, we are conforming to the world and we will not know what God's perfect and pleasing will is. If we are God's children, we will not conform to the ways of the world and desire to know His perfect and pleasing will, and thus pray in accordance with His will, not in accordance to our limited foolish wisdom, but pray in accordance to His will for His glory and for His kingdom to come on earth as it is in heaven.